Okay, now my suggested methods of data collection. Well, for this, I guess I would envision that I'd have to look up sleep and dreaming. How do we know a mammal is dreaming? How do we know it's not at any given time? And I haven't, again, this is not my project, this is your project kind of thing. So I have not taken the time to figure out how we know, but suppose it's something like rapid eye movement. Okay, I know that that's one thing I've heard before about dreaming. Your eyes are closed, but your eyeballs are moving, and you can see that under, with your eyelids, and so maybe it's the rapid eye movement. But I would need to talk about how I would know how long a mammal is dreaming. Now, is this an experiment or observational study? Most likely it's going to be, I perceive it as an observational study, in that I will just let these mammals sleep and check their dreaming, and so I won't know, and they're probably going to be zoo animals. So I would mention that. How would I get them? Well, I'd probably go check the zoo mammals, because we can actually watch them better than animals in the wild. And I would, so that would go back and affect my intended population relevant to the study. Is, well, these would be animals in captivity, and so would the ones in the wild dream the same? I don't know. So I probably should toss that back in. As I look at these things and answer these questions, I might need to go back and say, oh yeah, my intended population is captive mammals, and so I would probably have some way to watch them while they're sleeping, and look for, say, rapid eye movement. Or maybe it is that we could attach some sort of electrodes that we could gather, some sort of thing like EEGs and that kind of idea off their brains, and maybe that's how we know they're dreaming. But again, I would have to look into, well, how do you know when a mammal is dreaming, and mention that as part of my data collection. Okay, and also, though, there's more than just the dreaming. I mean, that's the response variable. That's what I'm interested in. But how would I get their weight? Well, I'd take this particular mammal and weigh it, and if I could get more than one mammal, maybe more than one example of a particular species, like 3 elephants, I would get all of that, but then I would use their average maybe as my numbers. Okay, so again, looking at the data, right? Body weight. Now brain weight, again, that might be an average. These all could be averages. We might have average body weights for Asian elephants, brain weights from autopsies that have been done. But how would I get that, right? I'm probably not going to get the brain weight from a live one. Okay, so my data may come from historical data, as well as actively trying to gather the amount of dreaming for a current elephant or a current baboon. Again, gestation, right? Those, I would probably have to look those up in the literature, and that's how I would get that data. Okay, so here it's been given to me, but if I'm really running this study and I want to be sure about these numbers, where would I go? I would probably go to the literature to get those. I wouldn't be weighing the given elephant that well, I might, but I would want more than just that one elephant's weight, most likely. I might only be getting that one elephant's dreaming, but again, you just mention that in the data collection, and if somebody else doesn't like it and thinks that's crappy, well, they don't have to believe your study. But what you want to do is let people know how you got that data. And so that should be a pretty good sized section, because you should be collecting all these types of data for your particular study, right? How are you going to collect, or how would someone collect those confounding variable data? Okay, and so we've got that, and again, I would probably think it's an observational study in that I wouldn't be trying to induce anything into the mammals. I would just be trying to determine when they're asleep, how much of that time are they dreaming. Okay, so that's G.